Sounds good to you?
Yeah.
What about you?
I'm in.
You're in?
Yeah.
I'm in. My mother-in-law's cooking bait fish.
Shit. Fucking A, man. It's been so long since I've been on this episode.
You mean on the darker side?
Yeah, on the dark
They're
side.
there, smelts. They're literally bait fish.
Smelt.
And she's like cooking them whole with like their heads on and shit. It's so delicious.
The
It's
name-
ridiculous.
the
Oh,
name
it's
is-
horrible. Everything about it's gross.
Guys ready?
Yeah.
Welcome,
to the dark.
Side Podcast, where we delve into the darkest side of our existences. The morbid, the macabre, the spooky, and the absurd are all fair games as we discuss murder, UFOs, cryptids, creepypasta, the paranormal, and
And the
the
absurd.
dark,
Dark
depravity of the human
race.
soul.
So.
I am David, and with me are the fucking fuckers. These guys.
Hell yeah.
Herrmann
Gumpers.
and Forrest. How are we, guys?
Gumpers in the house.
Good, man. I'm feeling, I found my thrill on Blueberry Hill. I don't know.
We got tuned up for this
Hell yeah.
episode. All right, guys. Well, we're back. We're fucking back. Woo, woo, woo.
Fuck yeah.
We got the band back together.
Part 2 for our serial killer from Connecticut.
Oh, man. Yeah.
We're going to dive deeper into that in a little while.
The thriller from New Britain.
But yeah, we have Forrest. Forrest, welcome back, brother.
Fuck yeah. It's been, I don't know, 4 episodes or 3 episodes or 5. I don't know.
Yeah, he's Ubering. We usually record on a Sunday,
Yeah.
but you normally can't make it on a Sunday. Tonight we're recording on a fabulous Friday evening.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Some
Same.
of us didn't work today. Some of us worked our asses off.
Some of us are shaking off the shackles of corporate life even as we speak.
Yeah, drinking some high quality booze, and
Hell
some
yeah.
of us smoking some high quality cannabis.
Oh, fuck yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we're gonna get into our news stories right away.
Wow.
Right to
We're gonna kick it. Herman,
Can I kick it? Can I kick it?
yes, you can.
Yes, I can. Yes, we can.
can't
And
even.
I'm going to kick it with this particular news story, which I think is probably the most important news story of 2019.
I'm with you. I think. I think
It
for
is
sure.
for $5,000. For $5,000.
That's not a lot.
No, it's not actually.
I guess in
And,
today's
and
modern
if our Patreon wants to pay for me to do this, I am so in.
Yeah, please.
But-
Patreon.
Check out the Patreon.
But for $5,000, you can hunt Bigfoot with Jose Canseco.
no, how does one go about this?
I mean, he always knocks it out of the park. He's gonna find Bigfoot. So, former baseball superstar Jose Canseco made his name hitting home runs, but his latest project is a pitch to go Bigfoot hunting. You see the pitch there? I didn't want to
fucking
lose.
horrible pun.
I didn't want to lose
Wow.
the pun. I'm so sorry. Oh, and there's an article
crazy.
about a Bichon Frise.
Bichon Frise.
So the former MVP posted 2 tweets on Tuesday, which is a lot of cheese, offering to take a few lucky people on an expedition tracking the mythical beast and, quote, a real alien. So Homeboy does not only promise Bigfoot, but a real alien.
Quote unquote.
Quote, end quote, alien.
No, I don't believe it.
What?
Where is he? Is he on Skinwalker Ranch?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Because if that's the case, then maybe.
So in the tweet, he had a phone number, and the phone number, I called it today, and nobody answered. It just kind of went to this number doesn't work anymore. But evidently on Tuesday you could call, and it would say, quote, spend the weekend with Jose for $5,000 cash. Only 5 lucky individuals will get a golden ticket. Oompa Loompas ain't got nothing on Bigfoot. Travel in his custom RV to authentic alien sightings and proven Bigfoot habitats. Camp out in the wild, tell stories, and maybe meet a real Bigfoot.
Maybe.
You never know what's going to happen with Mr. Canseco, food included, Only serious inquiries, please.
You never know what's going to happen with Mr. Canseco.
Food included. He's like the Emerald Lagasse of campfire cooking.
Sounds like a hippie getaway.
Where are they going? What part of the world?
Oh, I have no fucking idea. But he does say,
Maybe Northern
I
California.
will help you book your flights to Vegas and set up itineraries.
Wow.
Thank you, Morgan. Morgan's evidently his press agent. So you never know what's going to happen with Mr. Canseco, food included. It's just the fucking rules.
Well, Jose Canseco is a very awesome and interesting person. He's done some amazing things career-wise. He's also done
He's done a lot of steroids.
steroids.
Hello, steroids.
Yeah. But the whole Bigfoot thing reminds me of this new movie with Sam Elliott. Have you guys seen it? The
man who killed
the
Hitler.
man who
and
killed Hitler, or man who shot Hitler
What?
and then killed Bigfoot.
I don't know, something like that.
Dude, it looks great. Check it out.
Really?
It's like they took those what were the Modelo ads, the fucking like most interesting man in the world.
Negro
like-
Modelo, yeah.
Yeah. That man killed Bigfoot and then Hitler simultaneously.
And then Hitler.
Actually, it wasn't Dos Equis.
It was Dos Equis. In the love
Yeah.
triangle. Love triangle of Hitler and Bigfoot. Man, somebody draw
awesome.
that up in comic form. I would absolutely love that. It'd be my favorite comic. I'd hang a poster on the wall.
Please draw it.
Forrest, what do you got for a news story, brother?
Police chase naked man accused of stealing golf cart, pooping in owner's garage.
Where does this take place?
I really don't think they buried the lead on that.
No,
Definitely
definitely
checking
didn't.
right now. I'm sorry. I feel like I haven't been on this forever, on this microphone thing. Trying to find it right now. Oh, Florida.
Of course.
Oh, shit. Oh,
Of
shit. It's Florida.
You know what? It's funny. I think I did run over this on Facebook something that you shared, I think, and I was like, "Is this Florida?"
He's pointing at John Herrmann.
I am pointing at Herrmann. Oh my god! But I remember seeing where it took place, and I was like, "Wow, I'm not surprised."
I needed like a move over Florida, it's Arkansas kind of ad. I really think
Move
that,
over Florida, it's
yeah, like,
Arkansas.
fuck out of the way.
Somebody needs to step up and be the new Florida.
Yeah.
So what happened here, Forrest?
We do need new Florida.
Move over Florida. Georgia is on the radar for bizarre news this month.
So I read the article, guys.
Cobb County police were called February 1st after a man was allegedly burglarizing a home while only wearing a shirt and socks, according to a warrant obtained
It's
by
the Winnie
Atlanta
the
TV
Pooh.
station.
It is the Winnie the Pooh. And he took a poo-poo. He's porky pigging it at these people's house.
What?
Winnie the Pooh / Porky the Pig.
Yeah, and both of them wore shirts and no pants. But everybody's parents are cool with that.
Good Lord. All right, what else happened?
Moving forward, the accused illegally entered into said victim's home, a complete stranger with no pants on and his genitals clearly visible. The warrant said,
Little white man dingle.
He was walking in with visible genitals. Can you see the guy whose house it was, just like sitting out in front of the trash can with his buddy drinking a Pabst, like his genitals were clearly visible.
Clearly.
"Oh my god!" With the whole,
I was incensed.
Oh,
Oh god!
seething. I was.
And don't even get started on Helen. My God, that woman, what she's had to endure. I don't know.
Oh my
She did see
God.
a dick and balls.
Keep going.
With the home's alarm system set off, the man allegedly walked past the owner's room while having a gun pointed at him. He went into a child's room where he put on a sweatshirt he found, opened a window to the garage, and pooped on the ground.
Hey, I mean, that's a lot of excitement. He's probably been coked out of his mind for days. Maybe meth. And like he said, nothing in his system, and all he can do is just diarrhea when he moves.
So to be fair, it's somewhere between that pig that stole all the beer and beat up the cow and this guy as to who my actual spirit animal is.
I just can't even with this guy. Police caught up to the man and ordered him to pull over, but he refused.
I love that. Defiant.
To the end, till the bitter, bitter end.
Yeah, I shot in that man's garage. Catch me if you can.
The police were forced to pull in front of said golf cart and slow down in order to get said accused to yield, the word said.
He's like the Kato Kalin of golf cart thieves. What? They're chasing me? How's my hair?
Are my eyebrows straight? Oh, jeez.
Good Lord, guys. Well, Forrest,
I mean, that was a feel-good story of the year.
it sure was.
That's... Wow.
So what I'm going to bring you is a very different type of side, the darker side, more so than you guys. But
Dun, dun, dun.
nurse killed husband to marry inmate serving a life sentence.
Oh.
So this fucking the guy whose wife this was should have known that she had some problems before.
Some would call him the husband.
Yeah, the husband.
The husband.
The husband. So out of Iberia, I think it's Missouri.
Oh, good.
Missouri.
We're giving Florida a run for its money tonight.
Yeah, police said a Missouri prison nurse intent on marrying an inmate was charged with poisoning her husband with antifreeze before setting their home on fire. Now, I've fallen asleep enough in the last couple of weeks with my wife, next to my wife in the bed, watching Forensic Files, to know that antifreeze can kill the fuck out of you.
I love
And you should never sleep
That
next
show.
to your wife if you've watched Forensic Files.
No, but that's
You
where
should
you
sleep in a
learn
room
everything.
with dental floss tied to your toes so that when she opens the door, it wakes you up. And you should have a gun and a baseball bat at your side.
Oh, come on.
Me and John have we've watched Forensic Files together.
Yeah, I mean, that's what she goes to sleep with. And
Me
I've
too.
learned that
With
I can't stay awake.
with a gun?
I can't sleep if I've caught the beginning part of Forensic Files. But back to this. Miller County authorities announced Friday that 40-year-old Amy Murray of Iberia has been charged with first-degree murder and armed criminal action in the death of her husband, Joshua, or Yosh Murray.
Yosh.
We're going to call him Yosh Murray. Poor
Yosh
guy.
Murray.
Give it up. Pour one to Yosh. Pour one to
Yosh.
Yoshi.
Yosh.
No attorney.
No,
is-
you have to jump off of Yoshi, otherwise Mario's going to die.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know.
Some gave all, Dave.
No attorney is listed for her online court records. Her body, it says his body was found after a fire on December 11th, the Jefferson City News Tribune reports.
Wow.
The State Fire Marshal's Office and the Miller County Sheriff's Department determined that an accelerant was used to start the fire in the master bedroom. An autopsy determined that he died of poisoning before the blaze. That's the beauty. If you were smart, you'd watch all of the Forensic Files on Netflix.
Yeah.
Seriously, that way you can know that post-mortem, they can tell exactly how the motherfucker was poisoned. What are we looking at over there, boys?
Wow.
Mario jumping off of Yoshi.
Remember
Yeah.
card 92, sacrificing Yoshi. I like that.
You gotta
I love
sacrifice
Yoshi.
You have to
Yoshi.
sacrifice Yoshi. Sorry,
Sometimes you
Yoshi.
can only win a level by sacrificing a Yoshi.
And the one thing you do learn too from watching that show is like no matter how hard you try, you can't erase what you've done to someone.
No, you cannot. And Forensic Files teaches you that. If you want to be a fucking killer, and please don't. We are not condoning that activity.
Yeah, you should try like South Park and brownies.
Exactly. But Forensic Files, people, come on.
Yeah.
Murray had been employed as a nurse at the Jefferson County Correctional Center, where she developed a romantic relationship with an inmate, according to a probate cause statement obtained by the News
Hey,
Tribune.
pal.
At one point, she told the inmate, identified as a 40-year-old Eugene Claypool, maybe it's Leslie's slap at the base,
Slap at the base.
14th cousin, most likely.
I mean, all the Claypools are clearly related.
like the Pottles, yeah. That she
You
didn't.
don't got that big trucking money, though.
I don't got that big trucking money.
Those truck driving motherfuckers got cash.
Yeah, that she didn't want to be around her husband and wanted to divorce him. The report stated,
So you don't have to dose somebody with antifreeze when you want a divorce. You know what you do? You just go get a divorce.
divorce him.
Jesus.
Murray
There's
later-
so many lawyers. Just open the phone book, and every one of those guys is happy to take your money. And at the end of it, you'll have a divorce, and everybody will be alive.
Murray later told
Yeah.
Claypool they could get married because her husband was dead, according to police. Boom, she got fucking caught. Fuck her. Fuck him.
I feel bad for the inmate. He's like the real victim here.
True.
If you think about it, like, he is so excited. I don't know how many offers you get on death row. Like, I've never been.
I
But,
mean, and she's not ugly.
It seems like a slow process, though, death row.
well, sure. And, I mean,
For a death row inmate.
yeah.
I mean, you want it. And she's probably super sweet to you. She's probably like, "Oh, honey, I know."
You know, I think she would turn Forrest straight. Anyway, so
me straight.
so that was a cheap joke.
It was a
Forrest.
bad
I'm
joke.
very sorry.
It was a joke mostly at her expense, I feel.
I don't know. I was insulting
It was
everybody.
still funny.
It was fun. It was all
It was a little
fun.
hand grenade of insultation. So tell me more. Did she put up a fight?
Of course she didn't. Because she's, a death row lover.
She's a death row lover.
Let's see.
Get a hold on you, believe it.
I remember that.
All right, so Claypool
Yeah,
is
dude.
serving a life sentence for second-degree murder, the News Tribune reported.
Only second degree, huh?
Yeah, the pair reportedly discussed getting Claypool an attorney so he could be released from prison early. Murray is now being held on a $750,000 bond. She's scheduled to appear in court Wednesday.
Yeah, that part's boring.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it. So this was updated on February 11th, 2019 from Fox, Carolina.
Oh, Fox
Wow.
Carolina. That's hard hitting.
All right, guys. Well, that's our news stories for this episode. Herman, I think you have a little bit of
Oh, yes,
poetry.
yes.
Kind of like getting back. So I was going to read a creepypasta today for you guys, but honestly, our diving deeper segment is going to be quite long, quite extensive, and it's going to be very in depth. So what Herman has for us, and I think,
no. I'll set it up.
yeah. So Herman's got something for us guys here.
Take a beat.
Yeah,
Dave.
yeah. Check it.
Take a sip
it
of
out.
that delicious beer.
Boom.
Okay, so in our conspiracy cul-de-sac episode, we talked about Caramel, the artificial intelligent computer that was writing poetry on the side, and you could feed it information, and it would write a poem for you.
Yeah.
Now, I was unable to search the internet and find Caramel. I couldn't find that computer. But what I did find was a poetry generator that made sad child poetry out of your out of your words.
Like a child psychology's like poetry AI.
Yeah, it's like
So
it's like a
funny.
poetry appreciation website for elementary school kids. So I pumped in some Darkercide themes.
Okay.
And I would like to read that to everybody. I am Darkercide. I wonder, aliens. I hear murders. I see cryptids. I want Bigfoot. I am the Darkercide podcast. I pretend to educate. I feel gloomy. I touch aliens. I worry, I never worry. I cry. I am the podcast. I understand nothing. I say nothing. I dream. I try beer. I hope that Forrest wins the lottery.
What?
I am the Darkercide podcast.
Oh, praise be to the story for bringing that poem to us. Seriously.
What? That's crazy.
It was the most fun I've had in a long fucking time.
I feel like that was like it wasn't an actual AI generator. It was like basically an ad lib.
No, it was
An ad lib.
It was an ad
the
lib.
internet ad lib. You put in different words and it just filled it in like an ad lib.
It was like I feel it. I was like I don't know.
the podcast.
I love internet Mad Libs.
I pretend to educate. I feel gloomy. I just wrote words in though.
Oh, good lord, that is
I cry. Oh, I forgot. I cry ever. I am the podcast.
Oh my
It is
god.
beautiful.
Yeah, no, it's good. I tried beer. I hope Forrest wins the
I
lottery.
liked it though. I like that though. I like that part. We'll see.
I hope Forrest with me too, because I'm pretty sure I get a chunk of it.
Yeah.
I feel like he'd be like he'd be ruling the world out of like a Cadillac or some
I
shit.
rule the
I don't
world.
know. John and I agreed that if I did,
Oh,
there would be an extremely small amount of people that would know right away if we won.
Just finance the John Forrest Brewing Company.
or the Dave John.
Do you see how I just won
Forrest.
that? I know two things. I know how to read the Quran and I know how a party gets won.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Just gonna listen to some Dr. Dre. That's all. That's how you kill a party. All right, guys. Well, that was fucking the Darker Side Poetry Corner.
The Poecast.
The Poecast. All right. So we're gonna take a little break, and when we come back, we are going to dive deeper.
We're gonna fucking podcast.
Fuck yeah. And we'll dive deeper into the William Devin Howell. Is that it? What William Howell?
Yeah. Billy.
Billy. We're gonna call him Billy. And again, there is no
old Billy, Connecticut.
Billy, Connecticut serial killer.
The
piece
fucking
of shit.
Eeyore of serial murder.
Yeah. And we're gonna kill it.
It's crazy. Connecticut.
Yeah, I'm proud of that. We invented pizza and cheeseburgers.
All right, guys. Well, we're gonna dive deeper into the dark side. We're gonna continue with our Connecticut serial killer.
Connecticut.
That most of you, honestly, have never heard of. And
The fucking Eeyore of serial murder.
yeah.
Eeyore.
So Herman, where did we last leave off?
So we've established that William Devin Howell is sort of a whiny little bastard who grew up in a normal life and decided that it was time to kill people.
Yeah.
I mean, basically
what we did last week.
Time to
Last time.
what this dude did was he rode around in a van, killed people, and buried them behind a Family Dollar in New Britain, Connecticut.
And what you said last time we were here is
So bad.
this guy had a normal life. He got to this point. He had these sexual fantasies. And again, when he was 14 or 15 years old, his mother was passing away. And at that time, he was first picking up hookers. So he's got this weird fetish along with this, like, dark side that he has. He's amped it up to no return. And he made a conscious decision
Yep.
to go to the absolute worst serial killer, actually, because that's all we talked about in the first episode was his first victim. He killed her, and he made that conscious decision. He could have let her go.
Yeah.
He could have walked away.
Yeah, he even said, he's like, I wasn't sure I could do it, but I did.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, he had killed Camellini, and then he continued in 2003. Really, 2003 was when this guy was active. When he was out and
When he came back from North Carolina after seeing his buddy.
yeah. So he that's correct. Yeah, he went down to North Carolina. He visited his buddy. He went to his old stomping grounds in Virginia, and then came back to Connecticut, and just driving a van, worked landscaping, and killed people at night. So
Dark landscaping. Okay.
So yeah, so moving into his second murder was this woman Janice Roberts, also known as Danny Lee Wistnat. He was a 44-year-old transgendered woman from New Britain, and
Oh wow, that's crazy.
yeah, this is who he preyed on. Forrest. What he did was
Transgender individuals.
just anybody who, quite frankly, folks wouldn't miss.
Huh.
So he picked up Janice Roberts and he paid her for sex. Janice was this she wasn't a drug user, according to the police interview, just an unfortunate soul from New Britain. And according to the book, Bill was not willing to speak openly about this particular murder. He just said that he picked up Janice by the Stop and Shop in New Britain, and as he was getting oral sex, he grabbed her by the hair, the wig came off, and he killed her.
Oh. So, like, okay.
Yeah, he strangled
we
her.
get it, yeah.
That's his MO.
Yeah.
So, moving right along.
But it seems like this wasn't one of the victims that he...
This is not his style, which I think is why he's not talking about it. He talks about everything else in excruciating detail.
But I think the one fact that this was a transgendered person that he was just like, not going to talk about it. Yeah. So that taboo he couldn't even get into.
Yeah, so he's a bigot on top of it.
On top of a
Hush.
serial killer, exactly.
Hypocrite,
So like
though.
he's not putting this person for 2 weeks in the back of his car, asking them for cheeseburgers if they want to be in his van, going through the fucking McDonald's drive-through like he did with all the other rest of them.
No,
This one was just, the wig came off, straight kill.
Yeah, and to be fair, it was quick. So at least there's that, I guess.
Good. Yeah.
The next person that he picked up was Diane Cusick. She was a 55-year-old New Britain resident.
New Britain.
and she disappeared in mid-2003. Police had lost contact with her on July 2009 during a landlord-tenant dispute. And her remains were also found behind the New Britain shopping plaza in 2007.
Wow.
And she wasn't actually identified until 2011.
Jesus.
Because that's the thing. That's the thing with these folks. They have substance abuse problems, or they're on the marginal periphery of society.
And that's what we were talking about last time. Is these are marginalized people, like sex workers, unfortunately homosexuals, people of color, immigrants, etc.
Yep.
These are the people that this person was preying on. Mostly sex workers, though.
Yeah, so when he talked about Diane Cusick, William Howell said, quote, "When I picked her up, it was 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was extremely drunk. I drove her to the parking lot of a bar down on Allen Street in New Britain. It had a little lot and was private and secluded. In the morning, I drove her to McDonald's, where I raped her until around noon, and then I strangled her. I then bagged her up and threw her down the hill. I came back the next morning, and I buried her." End quote.
In his garden.
In his garden. That's my new voice for the guy, because he's like Eeyore.
He's like an Eeyore.
So what I didn't say was this: he had in and amongst the sexual torture that this woman experienced, he had used a shock absorber on her, and in the book he quote indicated that, and I quote, "She enjoyed it, or she did a good job of faking it."
Oh.
I fucking hate this guy. I really do.
He is a monster. A monster. Beyond belief.
So then there was Nilsa Arizamendi.
Is this number 4?
I think so. On July 31st, 2003, a woman told police that her sister, 33-year-old Nilsa Arizamendi, had not been heard from for 7 days. Arizamendi's boyfriend, a convicted drug dealer named Ace, by the way, was the immediate suspect in her disappearance, but was ultimately cleared after passing a polygraph test. So here's what they did with Ace. They picked him up. They're like, "You're the killer." He's like, "I actually am looking for the same person you're looking for." And they're like, "Nah, bro, you killed her." So they put this man through every kind of like test and investigation they could, and they did it over a long period of time, completely looking at the wrong person.
Wow.
And the whole time he's going, "No, I'm looking for this bitch too."
He actually asked for the polygraph test. He's like, "Just give me a fucking polygraph test and get this over with." And homeboy knocked it out of the park, like Jose Canseco.
Oh my god.
So anyway, Nilsa's sister had informed police that Nilsa was a heroin user and a sex worker who was living in a motel, along with the same boyfriend of which we just spoke. The boyfriend Ace had actually told investigators that he had allowed Howell to stay overnight in their room, and last saw Nilsa at 2:30 a.m. on July 25th when she got into Howell's van.
Ooh.
Yeah. So again,
she saw her.
2003.
Wow.
2003.
Write that down.
10 years old. I was.
You're so fucking young.
No shit. I was
So
24.
anyway,
John was 25.
Nilsa's body was found on April 28, 2015, along with the bodies of 3 other women.
Wow.
Good Lord.
Yeah. So I mean, they knew it was Howell. Like everybody knew. Ace knew it was fucking Howell. He had picked her up. They used to go on drug buys together. They used to party together. All that shit. And yet,
nobody would listen to him.
nobody would listen to the
Because
poor
he was a
bastard.
fucking drug dealer.
Correct.
Because he peddled some weed and maybe peddled some...
No, they were we're in heroin town. We're in
jeez.
heroin town.
Brown Town?
We're in Brown with the white pony.
Brown Town, white pony style. Is
I'm
that
scared. Can't even.
Oh, that reminds me of a good Deftones album.
So moving on, and quite frankly, a little bit of justice. It was Nilsa who had really hammered this guy home as being the fucking monster that he was.
So is this the one that he was being? Is this the one that he got found on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
So what person is this in the chronological order? Was it 4?
That was 4 out of 7.
4 out of 7.
7. He killed 7 people and nobody knows about him. They didn't really convict him until 2017.
Holy crap.
This should have been news all over Connecticut.
So
we didn't
he
know about
killed
this.
3 more
Holy
ladies after
shit.
her out of Nilsa?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So the next one's Marilyn Gonzalez. She was a 26-year-old woman, mother of 2 children. She went missing in 2003.
So he went fucking buck wild in 2003.
Yeah, oh, he did.
So when he came back after that winter in North Carolina, he came up with a fucking fury to just pick up these marginal people and just fucking destroy them.
That
2003 was his apocalypse.
Yeah, that was it. He was a monster. He was spree killing, and nobody cared because they
So
were
he had a
They were
taste.
too busy looking
He had
at
a
Ace.
taste.
Yeah, he had a taste of the first one. What he was into was, and he said this at one point to in the book. He said it wasn't the murders. He was basically into raping people.
Right? No, he was
And-
all about the rape.
All about that.
Post-mortem?
No. Yeah.
Well, possibly he doesn't talk about that.
No, it was pre-mortem. No.
No,
pre-mortem.
he just
Before he strangled or killed them or however he did it,
he strangled them, every single one.
but loved the rape.
He would pick somebody up, drive around in his van, and then just rape them all fucking night and kill them the next.
And I think this predilation to where he got this whole rape fantasy thing was when he started picking up hookers at the age of 15,
Oh, God.
paying for that power of sex. And it just became a fantasy to just kill one of these persons. And then he did it with the first victim. And then, like we said before, he went away. He fucked off. He fucked off to North Carolina.
He fucked off to North Carolina.
And then when he came back to Connecticut, he was like full force. He had it in his brain that whole time he was in North Carolina. All he could think about was going back
So it's
and
like...
and unfortunately sexually assaulting these women. And then the end of it all was strangulation.
So
strangulation.
he kind of also gets off by killing these women, too.
Oh yeah, no,
after.
he's into it.
Yeah,
He's
now
into it.
he's fully into it.
He talked about a little bit
Yeah.
before he committed his first murder, and he basically went into an Ace Hardware and just like walked around and started buying shit with like murder on his mind, like little shopping spree. So the next person was Joyvaline or Joy Martinez. She was 23. She went missing October 10, 2003, but nobody reported her missing until March 29, 2004.
Wow.
Yeah. If I go missing for 4 fucking days and somebody doesn't call on me, I would actually be surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And I'm
There's-
kind of an asshole too,
There's
so I don't even understand
There's
that.
at least 100 people who, if I'm not showing up within a 4-day period, will call and ask questions.
I mean, to be fair,
I
if I don't
feel
show
like,
up
yeah.
at work, the coworkers are going to call everybody they know.
Yeah.
I feel like there'd definitely be someone eventually.
Me, Forrest. If I didn't hear from you within a 24-hour period, I would be.
Shit, if I didn't see you post on Facebook for 24 hours, I'd send out a fucking posse.
It's usually when I wake up and I don't have to be anywhere. I'll troll Facebook.
Oh,
So the last was Mary Jane Menard. She was 40 years old, substance abuse counselor from Waterbury, Connecticut, who
Waterbury.
basically
she sounds like a wonderful woman.
she had fallen off the wagon and bumped into this guy, and
Just very misfortunate.
yeah, her remains were found at the shopping plaza. in
She was a
2007.
series of misfortunate events, as
She
they
was.
say. Yeah.
That's not good.
Poor Mary Jane.
Poor
So-
Mary Jane.
Menard.
Menard, yeah. So all these women were all these suspects were all these victims were raped repeatedly in William Howell's murder mobile prior to being murdered. Here's what Howell had to say about this. Quote, "You have to keep in mind that these people are like you. The victims of families will depict them as angels because that's what they always do in these situations. But they aren't angels at all. These were street people. These were people that you would not want in your home. They were the types who would take the money out of your wallet if you were standing in the line at grocery store with your back turned just to get drugs. They were thieves and would do anything for drugs. So I just want to let you guys know, I really dragged that out, and I'm sorry, but I did it because Dave had to pee the whole time. The whole time.
Well, you know what? Like, that's a really, like, fucked up thing to say. I mean,
No, these weren't people. It's cool. They were on drugs. That's really what he's saying.
that's so... Oh, it's so bad. That's just so bad. That's so fucked up. I mean, I don't know. It's like one of those ugly truth things, but he does it so disrespectfully and inhumanely that that just makes me so angry. It's like, I don't know if, I mean,
Here's a person calling people out on the street, like out. He's calling these street people or these people who like
Yeah, and
have
The Purge was a good
addictions.
movie, but he's not good.
Right. But what I'm saying is that he's calling these people out, but he's fucking raping them, strangling them, and then chucking them down a hill
Yeah, just literally
behind a fucking strip
behind a
mall.
fucking Family Dollar. He's
oh, jeez.
and nobody's noticing for fucking years. So all these victims were raped repeatedly, and they were all murdered, and it all happened in 2003. Bill wasn't even convicted for any of these crimes until 2004.
Wow.
For the fourth victim, right?
It was the third actually. It was Nilsa Arizamadi's disappearance. The one where they're like, this guy's killing women.
I thought that she was the fourth.
she was 3.
Okay.
No, she was 4.
She was 4. Right.
Why are we keeping?
I was keeping
This is
score.
you win. This is a terrible argument to have, and you
Okay.
just won it.
Exactly.
Oh, my God.
But yeah, it was Nilsa's disappearance that got the police on Howell's tail, which shouldn't be a fucking surprise because Nilsa's boyfriend's like, the last time she was seen alive was with this guy, and now she's dead.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not a mathematician, but
that's Occam's razor.
that's the easiest fucking answer. Ask a 9-year-old.
That's like the 48 hours thing.
maybe the
In
guy
the
who said,
investigation,
Yeah.
the first 48, this fucking homeboy just gave you the fucking information you wanted in fucking 10 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like, follow up.
Yeah.
If you want to find somebody, you just got it. You got Occam's razored.
Fuck yeah. They got it. They gotta fucking do it.
yeah. So it was Nilsa's disappearance that really got everybody's attention. So what they had to do is they had to rule out quite repeatedly the boyfriend Ace. Like Ace didn't kill her.
Come on, Ace was an ace in this
Yeah,
situation.
you're free, Ace. Because they arrested him, they questioned him, they gave him a lie detector, and the whole time he's like, "Look at this fucking landscaper, Bill. Check this guy out."
Check Billy. Billy's he's a twisted motherfucker.
Billy.
He's a bit of a Chester.
Uh-oh.
He is, and he used to drive Ace and Nilsa to places and just fucking party with them. That's what he did for a long time. And the cops are like, "It's not Ace. I'm confused." Anyway, so
If it's not this other guy, it's definitely not the white guy.
I got one idea.
We're not saying anything, but that's what we're assuming.
Follow me on this. I'm only going to check literally the most obvious choice, and as soon as that fails, I'm going to go get some coffee.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so eventually police set their sights on Howell. He'd been seen with the victims a few too many times. So police actually followed him. He fucked off again back to North Carolina.
Oh God, Lord.
Yeah, back to his buddy's house. And the cops followed him, and they found him. They found his van, and they started ripping the cushions apart. And they discovered
Instantly blood, right?
They discovered blood
Everywhere.
Yeah.
He admitted it. You alluded to it in the first part. The segment when it was like they found blood everywhere when they finally caught this guy.
Oh, they really did. So they found blood from 2 different people
Right away.
right away in the van, and DNA from Arizamadi's, wherever the fuck they got that shit. I have no idea, hair or
Right.
blood or whatever. But her DNA was a 99% match with the DNA that was found in the vehicle.
Yeah.
99%. So, along with that, they found a bunch of shit. They found, and listed among the things they found an axe, they found a shock absorber, they found
Rope.
and they found 6 videotapes of Howell having, and they only describe it as, quote, bizarre sex. And these are cops. And if a cop says the sex is bizarre, shit is weird.
Yeah, because the
can't
cops
imagine.
have had all the bizarre sex.
They've had all the bizarre sex. They are the bizarrest sexing people I know.
Yeah.
So Howell had shot the videos in the way where you don't see
Penetration.
Well, no, you don't see the owner of the thing that's being penetrated.
Right, okay, yeah.
That's it's smart like that, I guess.
Ugh.
So,
yeah.
because they hadn't found Nilsa's body at the time, Howell was charged with first-degree manslaughter. I mean, we're really getting our justice here.
Yeah, I mean, it technically, you can't prove murder if there's no body.
Yeah.
But they find the body eventually.
They do. So here's what Howell said about the blood in the van. He said,
I puked.
"You know,
I had a little too much cocaine.
got you cocaine.
Oh my god.
Hey guys."
Fuck.
He said, "You know, there were drops of Nilsa Arizomondi's blood in the back of my van. Her and her boyfriend Ace had a violent relationship, and he hit her. Ace claimed he never went back into the back of the van, but how come he said he knew what it looked like, and there were power tools back there?
Why you gotta throw shade on her, brother?
I don't even
Dude,
know."
Ace didn't do a thing.
Wow.
You raped that woman. You
Wow.
killed that woman. Don't. Come on. It's Ace.
So even at sentencing, Dave, Howell had continued to insist that he did not kill Nilsa. He argued that the blood stains were from a physical fight that Nilsa had with her boyfriend, as we had just quoted.
Was there a lot of blood?
There was a fair amount, yeah.
Okay.
Weeks later, after his first trial, where he vehemently said he wasn't guilty, he even wrote a little poem about that, which I probably have somewhere, but it's absolute trash. Just weeks later, a hunter found human bones behind the West Farm shopping mall in New Britain, Connecticut.
Same place.
Same place.
So the garden.
This is after Howell's sentenced to 15 years in prison for second-degree murder. Or manslaughter, whatever the fuck.
Manslaughter.
Whatever the fuck that shit was.
Wasn't murder.
Who gives a shit? Some garbage fucking thing. Weeks later, they find bodies behind the shopping plaza in New Britain, and they were identified as Cusick, Martinez, and Menard.
Right away.
Right away. 2007. In 2015, more remains were discovered. These motherfuckers didn't even investigate the area enough to find all the fucking bodies that were there.
Wow.
This guy didn't even dig a deep hole. He was a lazy little... Anyway. In 2015, these other bodies were identified as Nilsa's, that of Gonzalez, Camellini, and Wistnat.
So 2015 is
8 years later.
12 years after the original murder.
12 years after the crimes, 8 years after his first conviction.
Wow. This is CT, State Police, and probably FBI.
At its fucking finest. So how they caught him was during the investigation. He had a cellmate, this dude named Jonathan Mills, and the cellmate basically started to sing. You see, for the promise of a reduced sentence, people will say a lot of things.
What was the sentence originally? Probably like a fuck ton.
Mills might have had life, and they were going to knock it back for him. I don't fucking know. He did something stupid. So anyway, according to Mills, Howell had noted that there was a monster inside of him. And he even described himself as a, quote, sick ripper.
Sick Ripper. Nice.
I mean, which is pretty gnarly. I dig Judas Priest, and I even like Ripper Owens, but it's not the time for that.
Right.
He had also told the inmate that he kept one of the woman's bodies, that of Gonzalez, in his van. And again, Mills had referred to the van as his murder-mobile.
Murder-mobile?
Yeah. So he'd kept Gonzalez's body in this murder-mobile for weeks because it was too cold outside to bury her.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which means it probably wasn't all that warm inside his van, so she was pretty well preserved.
Oh, that's great, yeah.
Good Lord.
Oh, God.
So Mills told the court that Bill, whom Mills actually referred to as, quote, hillbilly.
If the hills had eyes.
Had strangled, he's referring to the woman in the car, had strangled her, but she wouldn't die, so he hit her in the face and head with a hammer.
Oh.
The hammer shattered the girl's jaw. Hillbilly killed the girl and wrapped her in the van for 2 weeks because it was too cold outside to bury her. He claimed that Bill had slept next to his, quote, baby, and that he could not get back to his, quote, garden to bury her.
Oh, I'm like covering my eyes and shaking my head.
So what Bill did was he cut off the tips of her fingers
Oh, stop.
and dismantled her bottom jaw.
Oh,
And according to Mills, Hillbilly disposed of his victim's body parts in Virginia. Police went to Virginia to look, and they never found anything.
Wow.
So there's
wow.
really something interesting that Howell had said about Mills. He had talked about their friendship, saying they had a good friendship in prison.
Yeah.
And then when he found out that Mills was talking about him, he said, you know, when you're an alleged serial killer, friendships are hard to come by,
Poor fucker.
especially lasting ones. You see, Mills had torn the man's heart out.
Oh, as my 6-year-old would say, you know, you broke my heart today.
Eat a dick, you little 6-year-old bastard.
Yeah. You listening to me broke my heart, you fucker. Yeah.
So anyway, getting right to the end, on November 17, 2017, Howell was 14 years after all this shit occurred. Howell was sentenced finally to 6 consecutive life sentences after pleading guilty to the murders of Cusick, Martinez, Menard, Gonzalez, Camellini, and Wisnat. He actually cried on the stand and apologized to the families of the victims during the sentencing. He called his actions, quote, monstrous, cowardly, and selfish.
I would say the same things about him.
It's the only thing he's ever been right about, actually. He told the court that he deserves the death penalty, but that was abolished by the Connecticut Supreme Court in 2015.
Oh, lucky him.
Shit.
Lucky him.
Of course.
And I leave you with the words of William Devin Howell. He says, quote, I was never what I thought of as a bad guy. So I still don't know how it is that I grew up to be a freaking serial killer. And that's William Devin Howell, Connecticut's fucking finest son.
Oh, bother.
God, this guy's a fucking douche.
Wow.
So, yeah, what is it, William Devin Howell?
William Devin Howell.
I mean, at least he noticed what he did and
No.
apologized. But
He
it's
just
still
wants...
horrible.
He just wants people to sympathize with him.
So let's talk about that for a second. I really think that when he was being introduced by this, interviewed by Anne, whatever her name was, the lady who wrote In His Garden.
Or it's his garden, right?
Yeah, either way.
Yeah.
Oh, In His Garden's a book about the serial killer in Cape Cod, which
Right.
I'm going to purchase and we're going to talk about because
Yeah.
I hate myself. But I think he actually tried to make himself seem like a nice guy because he's
Like any or.
he's a sociopath.
Right.
So I mean, they don't have emotions. They can just play whoever, and I think that's what he was doing, was playing Anne, who wrote the book. But I'd have to talk to her about that. If you're listening,
I'd like to hear
give me a
some
shout.
actual, audio of their conversation.
No, I wouldn't. He's a sad
I just
sack
want
of
to
shit.
hear how it sounds when he talks.
Yeah, he's the fucking captain of the pity party.
Captain of the Pity Party.
Fucking fishing party on Facebook. Good Lord.
Shit.
Anyway,
Well-
so that's
Well,
William.
that guy exists.
That's William Devin Howell.
He's serving 6 consecutive life sentences, and is he in Connecticut?
He's in Connecticut, and he hates the prison he's in. In the book, and I didn't get into this, but in the book he just bitches about people taking his shit out of his cell and
Oh, poor baby.
like
Poor
not being able to buy
baby.
things at the commissary and all of the book is filled with hours of garbage about this dude's life. Like, it sucks to be me.
So what, 6,000 years in prison?
Fuck him.
6,000 years in prison or some shit like that.
They should just keep him there.
Just fuck him. Whatever. Well, we're glad that he's behind bars. He's
Yeah,
no
yeah.
longer just picking up women and fucking brutalizing them.
It's crazy that.
Good fucking Lord, Connecticut.
Yeah, if you want to read some really fucked up first-hand accounts,
Dude, we
of a
can
man
get to where all
using-
this happened in 65 minutes.
Did he
we can
want
go
to
there.
put that down? Did he want to be put down? Like injection?
No,
or
that was
something?
just him going, pity me.
Yeah, because they had killed. Lethal injection was gone for 2 years by the time he
Yeah, so he could say whatever he wanted and
Yeah.
nothing's going to happen to him. He's going to fucking live in prison till he dies. Fuck him. All right, well, Herman, thank you for, going through that emotionally.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so the next one's not a serial killer, and I'm definitely not reading that many pages on it. By the way, I'm currently reading Monster City about the murder, music, and mayhem in Nashville's Dark Age.
Yeah.
So I
Heck
guess
yeah.
I like.
I don't
the
know.
pain.
I think we might come back with maybe another, I don't know, alien or cryptid next episode.
Okay.
I want that delightful alien from that Simon Pegg movie. What was that, Paul?
Paul.
That was a great movie.
Paul.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how Paul's a good man. I've had some good Pauls in my life.
I love that
And-
movie, Paul.
Yeah, great movie.
So go watch Paul. Fuck William Devin Howell. The boys are back. Let's rock.
Speaking of
Find
movies,
Forrest at Forrest Media. Oh, sorry.
speaking of
Hell
movies,
yeah.
have you guys seen the new Child's Play trailer?
I have been waiting to watch it.
Is Rob Zombie just like masturbating onto the film?
Rob
now?
Zombie.
No, that's not Rob. But it does have
Blumhouse, I think it's a Blumhouse film, isn't it?
I don't know. It looks good though.
It's like from the creators of like The Visit. And
Blumhouse sounds like one of those British desserts that you actually don't want to eat. Like I guess
Blumhouse
I guess
sounds
I'll
like-
have a Blumhouse.
Blumhouse sounds like a bad porn thing. like it sounds like a Cleveland
dude.
steamer.
Dude,
like,
I picked up Janice.
and a
And
Blumhouse
she gave me the
stuff.
fucking Blumhouse.
Yeah,
dude.
exactly, dude. Hey kid,
Bob.
hey kid, dude. Me and this whatever, we were doing it in a
Hey,
Blumhouse
kid.
all
Fucking
over him.
Blumhouse for days, son.
Dude, he's such a good horror filmmaker, but like Blumhouse.
So, guys, I'm David. You can find me on the Facebooks. You can find my band Enemy. You can find my other podcast. It's called the Ready Level 1420 Podcast. It's about cannabis.
Hell yeah.
Forrest has a podcast. What's up with you, Forrest?
Oh yeah, I got Clit F getting lost in the forest.
It's like Clit
Clit-
F.
Clit
like,
F.
What? But it's more like
He is
Clit
the
F.
he is the
F.
fucking Clit Commando.
He's the
I am
Glit
the
Commando.
Commander. Oh my god, I wanted to say that really bad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Getting lost in the forest.
Getting lost in the forest. You got Forest G Media. You got Modern News.
Modern News.
Oh yeah. you
DCP
got
Network.
DCP Network. We got the Ready Lover 1420
Instagram.
Candy Cast.
Ready One Lover, 420 Connecticut.
Check out Frenemy.
Check out Frenemy.
Herman, what you got, bro?
I'm Herman Brow, HERRMANN at Instagram. Come hit me up. Send me pictures of your cats. And if you have a ferret that has stolen your car keys, I would like to see a photo.
Also,
yeah,
if you
we're on
brewed
Instagram,
your
too.
own beer, John wants to see a picture of what it looks like up against the light.
We just paused. Well, that was a pause for effect.
That was a group selfie.
Anyway, I love you guys.
That was
I-
an Ussies.
Yes, and see, keep finding me on the instant grams. It's fantastic. I love it. You guys are the best.
Keep coming back to the darker side.
Every time, David. Every single time. Always does this. 100% of the time.
Darker side.
We're actually hearing his uvula banging into the back of his tongue.
I'm putting my mouth all over the microphone like a penis.
Darker Side Podcast. Love y'all. Peace and love.
Eat a dick, bitches.
Seriously?